Hello, Queens. Welcome back to the Champagne Empress, the podcast. I'm your host, Georgette, a feminine embodiment coach. And today we're diving into a topic that is so important for every woman's journey. And you're probably going to hear me say, like, every topic is important, but it's true. It's true. These are the things that I wish I knew earlier in my life. And so I'm coming in to make sure that women know this kind of thing. So every topic is important. But today, the topic we're going to dive into is about decentering men and focusing on your own fulfillment. Because we're conditioned so much by society, culture, family, to put men at the center of our lives, whether it's in relationship, in our work, in anything. It's like how we find our worth. It's how we even move through the world. But here's the thing. You deserve to be at the center of your own life. You deserve to be your own muse. So today we're going to talk about how to shift your focus back to you and why that's not just empowering but necessary, and how this change can actually, you hear me, hear this change can actually attract the love and life you actually truly desire. Okay? Because remember, as Champagne Empresses, we are here to embody the life we desire. So before we dive in, I want you to take a second and ask yourself, how much of your energy, thoughts, and effort, actions are centered around men? Think about it and be honest with yourself, because this episode is all about reclaiming that energy and turning it towards you, your passions, and your purpose. Because we're here to create massive impact and live in our purpose. And whatever purpose that is, we are truly here to live that. And when we are centering our life around somebody else, we are not truly showing up for ourselves in that way. So let's start by talking about how society has conditioned women to center men in their lives. It's like growing up, you hear that we have to be this good girl. We have the good girl narrative playing over and over. We've been told, be nice, be accommodating, don't be too much, don't make too much noise. And most importantly, make sure we don't upset the men around us. We see this in everything from fairy tales to family dynamic to, hey, do you want to get married? So this is what you have to do to get a man, to keep a man. So it is often synonymous with keeping men comfortable. And what happens? We start putting their needs and validation above our own desires because we want to please them. Let me give you an example. How many times you've seen before where a woman shrinks herself to make a man feel secure? Whether it's downplaying her success, compromising her dreams, or even just changing her behavior so he doesn't feel intimidated. And it's exhausting, right? It leaves you feeling so empty and because you're giving away your power. And I know I've been there. And I know one of my ex told me, you get, I forgot the saying, you get something sweet with honey. And that means, you have to be nice in order for me to give to you. So then we become something we're not because we want to be nice, we want to please. And I became this woman in my past that walk on eggshells in her own house because I didn't want to walk the boat, because my voice at that point didn't matter. What I wanted, what I desire was non-existent because my life was centered around a man. But let me tell you something epic. and I will continue talking about this, is when I let that go and I learned how to be the center of my own life, how to let myself be the muse of my life. Ooh, the love that I've experienced, the people that I've encountered, the desires, the passion that unfolded were mind blowing. So let's really talk about, what does decentering men actually mean? First, let me be very clear. Decentering men, because I've seen it, people think, oh my gosh, let's decenter men. We don't need a man. If that's a message you think I'm going to come here and tell you, this is not the place. I love men. And I do believe men are a crucial part of our existence, obviously. We have to coexist with them. And it's just such a beautiful thing when we are in union with the opposite sex. So let's be clear. It's not about rejecting love, relationship, or partnership. Actually, when we decenter men, we create the harmony in relationship. Decentering men means putting yourself at the center of your own life. It means prioritizing your dreams, desires, and happiness and passion. You get to be fully seen when you are in a partnership. Decentering men means making decisions based on what's best for you, not what will make a man approve of you. It's about the energy that has been focused outward and turning it inwards so you can fully embody your feminine power. Because it's time to stop seeking validation from men. Oh, because I see this post everywhere. Do you think men loves red lipstick? Do you think men feel like long nails are feminine? Oh, men love this, men love that. Well, okay, love this, I get it. But honey, what do you love? Do you even love that? Because I see some women who are dark femme energy dressing up in soft femme energy. So they could be palatable for men need. And what they're not realizing is they are sacrificing their entire soul for a man. When you stop seeking validation from men, something amazing happens. You start to feel free, free to explore what really lights you up, free to express yourself in a level that you've never seen before, without fear, without judgment, free to follow your passion. It's about tapping into your feminine essence, embracing your own self worth, and realizing that you are enough, regardless of whether or not a man's approve. Let's be real. Listen, sometimes you walk around and you feel like, you know what? Ugh, men love BBLs. They love big double D's. So I'm going to get a double D. I'm going to get a BBL. So I could be loved by them. But guess what, honey? Are you doing it for you? Because I have nothing against BBLs or big boobs. You want that? Great for you. But are you doing it for you? Are you doing it so a man could love you? So a man could think you're worthy? And you're gonna get all these filters, all this Botox. Listen, you do you, but who are you doing it for? Because it is, if it's for you, yes, stay in that power, shine, be that badass that you are, and show up with your double D's, show up with your BBL because it is for you. And then you love it so much that if a man walks by, doesn't love your BBL, it doesn't matter because you didn't do it for him, you did it for you. And it's the same way because I've seen women get BBLs and now, oh my gosh, men love it. Oh, he doesn't. And then they change partner. Well, he doesn't like it. Then what? You're going to keep changing yourself so you could make the next one comfortable. One loves golf and the other one loves basketball. So now what? I want you to really think about when you're doing something, you have to do it for you first. And the people that aligns with that light of yours will be in your world, will come flocking to you. You'll be so magnetic because you are being you. And it doesn't matter what you do to your body or what you don't do to your body. You have a BBL, you have a flat ass butt. It really doesn't matter because when you are magnetic in your essence, the person that is meant for you will come. And I know, and don't get me wrong, I know it could be hard to shift, especially as women. We've spent so many years centering men in our lives. We got to learn how to cook because when we grow up we have to marry, we're going to cater to our husband. We have to learn how to iron because we have to learn how to iron our men's clothes. We have to know how to clean. Ooh, we have to know how to do this. We have to know how to raise kids. We have to know how to nurture. We have to know, ugh, the endless. We have to know. So I know it's a hard shift, but I promise you, once you start this process, you'll feel more alive, more confident, and more in tune with what truly matters, with what you truly desire. Because, Empress, you are here to embody the life you desire in whatever shape or form that is. So stop shrinking who you are so you could make a man comfortable. But let yourself be seen in all of your glory so you can create that partnership that you're desiring. Because let me tell you, I am a firm believer of sacred union. When you are in your power, you meet a man in their power, you get to co create together. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful thing. So, yes, we need men in our lives. We need love in our lives. We need relationships. We need partnership. So, again, decentering men is not about rejecting men. No, this is not what we're doing here. We learn how to love the men in our lives, but we also learn how to prioritize our energy, how to make ourselves the center of our lives. So when we show up, it is because we're showing up for us. When we show up for men, it is because we desire to show up for them in all of the ways, in all the vulnerable ways, in all of the awkward ways. We get to show up for those men. And honestly, when we decenter men in our lives, we get to know us in an even deeper level and an intimate level that it also creates more intimacy when we are in relationship. Because the focus is no longer about, I wonder what he thinks about my boobs. Now it's deeper than that. We create deeper bonds. We create safety in each other because you're allowing yourself to be seen and you're also opening space for him to feel seen by you. So now let's talk about how decentering men transform relationships, right? Because as I said, when you decenter men, you actually end up attracting better relationships. And do you understand why? Because when you put yourself first, you're not operating from a place of neediness or seeking validation. Oh my gosh, I need him to say I love you because if he doesn't say it, I don't feel loved. I need him to do this for me to feel my own happiness. I need him to do this or I could feel seen. No. You do not need his validation. But let me tell you, honey, when you put that sexy dress on and you're like, oh man, I'm feeling myself. I love this dress. And then he comes to you and he say, oh, honey, I love your dress. There's a different vibration that goes with that because you already know you look good in that dress. You already know your energy in that dress is beaming. And then the cherry on top is your husband gets to tell you. Ugh, can you imagine the moment of devouredness that could happen there? Ugh, beautiful. So, you're not settling for the bare minimum or twisting yourself into someone else's idea of who you should be. Instead, you're showing up as your most authentic self with high standards and clear boundaries. And let me tell you, that energy is magnetic. And men who are aligned with your values will be drawn to you. Not because you're catering to them, but because you're standing in your power. And I know sometimes we hear that men are afraid of our power. I have a lot to say about that. But I don't think that's true. Men love to see us in our power. And the power that we think is not the power of, I'm going to dominate you. This is not the power we talk about. It's the power that we don't even have to speak about. It's the same way. I love seeing a man in his power. And that power is unspeakable. So when you stand in that, the men will come. And the ones who don't align, of course, will fall away. They'll stay far away from you. And that's exactly what you want because you don't want to end up with someone. Well, I just don't want to be alone. Again, we're needing someone because we don't want to be alone. Be comfortable in yourself to say, you know what, I'm okay being alone. I'm okay. And let yourself attract the right person and let the wrong one fall away. Because it's sometimes we ignore so many things. So we compromise our values, we compromise our standards. I have been in situations and relationships where I had to dim my light so my man could feel supported, so he could feel in his ego. And here's the thing, I don't mind stroking my man's ego. I really don't. As long as it's not costing me my standards. Oh, if the man looks good, just say he looks good. If he does something great, just let him know. But just don't do it for the need of, I need to be this person that I'm not. Because believe me, I've been there and it's not a fun place to be. And when I dived into my feminine essence, oof, powerful shift happened and relationships became magical because I was sitting in my power and I attract men who are aligned with my values. Beautiful. So think about this. When you're no longer centering men, you have more time, more energy to pursue your passion. Yes. Cultivate deep self love and design a life that excites you. Okay? Not a life that's like, oh my gosh, I know men love this color. I'm gonna buy all this color. Where if you like bold prints, girl, go ahead and wear your bold prints. Because I always say it's not about what you wear, but it's who you're being when you wear it. Because I always say two people could wear the same exact outfit. One super confident in who they are and standing in their power, and they will be magnetic. And the other one probably wondering, I wonder what he's thinking about me. I wonder if my boob looks great. And she shrinks in that same outfit. So again, it is not the outfit that makes you. Even though I'm not gonna lie, there's some outfits out there that's a little bit questionable, but it's just me with my biases, right? And that is none of my business. And it's none of your business either how other people decide to show up in their own fashion life. It's just fun to watch sometimes. But when you come from a place of wholeness, you attract relationships that support and elevate you rather than define you. So it's a win-win situation. Win-win. It elevates you. And the more you elevate, the more your man elevates. And the more your man elevates, you elevate. So it's a win-win thing. And I love seeing it. And you become in a sacred union, a powered union, unbreakable, unshakable. When you stand in your power, you get to feel that. So here are some practical steps that I want to give you before the end to start decentering men. Okay? So let's talk about how to actually start. Because I know it's been engraved in our soul for centuries. So here are a few simple but powerful steps that you can take right now. Daily journaling. You're gonna hear me say journaling all the time is because it is a life-changing thing. Let me tell you, when somebody told me, I think maybe 8 years ago at this point, oh, you should journal. I was like, what journal? Journal about what? And I took baby step with journaling. And then that was just such a transformative thing for me in my life that I journal about everything. So start by reflecting on areas of your life where you're centering men. Is it in your career? Is it in your relationship? Like, how are you approaching your relationship? Do you do things in your relationship so you could be liked by your partner, by your husband? Your self image. Are you dressing nicely and proper? Because, oh my gosh, I'm a man. I need to cover up because of men. I need to wear white because my man doesn't like pink. At yourself. Are you getting the BBLs because of a man? Are you getting your lashes because a man will like me better with my lashes so long? So look at this aspect, right? And write down where you feel like you're seeking validation or approval and asking yourself, what do I really want in this area? And one day we'll go deeper into that because let me tell you, especially when it comes to relationships sometimes, and we go deeper into what it looks like in the bedroom. So ask yourself, what do I really want in this area? Do I want more exciting sex? Do I want penthouse sex? Yes, please. Do I just want missionary? And there's nothing wrong with any of that. And it's also the opposite, right? Literally, you're like, I just want simple, boring sex. And it's also okay. But are you finding yourself in a situation where you're like, oh my gosh, I had to be this exotic person because I want to show my husband how adventurous I am when you're not really adventurous in the bedroom, right? But however, sometimes we need to be a little bit adventurous, but you kind of have to look at it. Is it because of someone else that I'm doing it? Or do I want to get out of my comfort zone for myself? The next little step that I like to give you is again, set boundaries. Boundaries is going to be your friend. Again, boundaries is not to protect your heart or protect your walls or whatever and have your wall higher than the wall of China, you know? But practice saying no when something doesn't serve you, even if it's uncomfortable. So boundaries are a form of self respect. Okay. When you honor your boundaries, you're sending a message to the universe that you value yourself. And the universe is going to send you more of that, honey. It's like, okay, she values herself. I'm going to send her more of that because she understands. She said no, she doesn't want this. All right, honey, what do you want? I'm going to send that to you. So stand firm in your boundaries. Practice saying no when it doesn't serve you. And we're always going to the self love rituals, right? Go practice self love. taking time for yourself each day to meditate, journal. I take time every morning, and sometimes I meditate for half an hour, and sometimes my meditation are like 3 minutes. But I go in and I center myself so I could really be in my body and let myself meditate for however long I want to meditate. So I take time for myself each day to do that. And when I do have my kid, I let him know, listen, mommy needs a minute. Mommy needs 10 minutes. I'm going to do something. Allow yourself to practice self love and prioritize that in your family, in your relationship, in your parenting, So you have to start prioritizing you. Remember, your relationship with yourself is the foundation of everything else in your life. If you don't respect the relationship you have with yourself, I mean, come on. You have to respect that relationship first and prioritize it. When you prioritize yourself first, everything else falls into place. And I know as a mom, you could think, oh, how can I prioritize myself first? My kids are first. Let me break it down to you. Your kids realize when you're not fully being present. Your kids understand it's like, oh, mommy's exhausted. She doesn't have time to play with me, to talk to me, to give me any energy. So I would say if you need to take 10 minutes, your kids will understand because spending 20 minutes of unintentional time with your kids when you're exhausted versus 5 minutes of true intention, they will value the 5 minutes of true intention more than the 20 minutes of carelessness that you gave them, of the I don't even know what this was minutes that you felt like you were giving. So I really want you to prioritize yourself first. Your kids, unspoken word, your kids will always be a priority. And we'll probably talk about it for the single moms trying to date as well. Ooh, but anyways, let's go back on topic here. So another powerful step that I like is again affirmation. Use affirmation each day to reprogram your mindset. So the reason why, we use affirmation is because we want to send a message to our subconscious that listen, I'm shifting. I want something different. And sometimes we have to do deeper work, and I think that's when I work with my clients, we go a little bit deeper because sometimes we're just splashing affirmation everywhere and we're not really going deeper and dealing with the wounded space in our body. So that's where sometimes journaling comes into place, etc. So we could really point out where it's coming from. But I love to use affirmation for when I want to shift something. So some affirmation you could say is, I am worthy of love. Ooh, yes. I'm worthy of abundance. I'm worthy of joy without needing to prove myself to anyone. I am whole and complete as I am. And the more you affirm your worth, the less you'll feel the need to seek validation from others. So make sure you stand and not like you say your affirmation. And if you even do want to do mirror work, you just go and just say, I'm worthy of love, abundance, joy, you know, without needing to prove myself to anyone. I am worthy as I am. I am whole and complete as I am. I am. Those are things I love to stand in the mirror and just do. So those are things, simple things you could do today, simple things to start decentering men in your life. So, ladies, what is the bottom line? The bottom line is this, okay? Decentering men is not about rejecting love or relationships or going on a gender war saying, I don't need you. I could do it all by myself. Let me tell you, I love it. Love it when my man opens my door. Can I open my own door? Absolutely. I love it when my men like do things for me. So I don't reject any of that. Why would I reject love? We all for love. Why would I reject the purest form of someone's affection? Because I am worthy to receive it all. I am worthy to receive that love. And so are you. So It's not about rejecting any of that. It's just about putting yourself at the center of your own life. So you're not forgetting that your life is actually yours instead of thinking, oh my gosh, my life is actually for the world and for the men. Because when we actually think like that, we don't stand for anything. We actually lose who we are. We don't have a sense of who am I, because we're for anything society tells us we have to be. So I want you to center yourself back into you so you could really understand to the center men. And when you do that, you step into your true feminine power. And from that place, everything else falls into place. Love, wealth, success, fulfillment. You're going to feel free in your body and like, holy cow, I did this for me. Ah, yes. So take a moment today to reflect on where you've been centering men and how you can start making yourself the priority. I guarantee you the shift you will experience will be mind blowing. Okay? So I want you to go and do your thing and start decentering men in your life, because your life was not made for men. Your life was not made for other women, actually. Your life was made for you. How can you step more into your purpose? How can you step more into serving, into showing up in your full power? So allow yourself to know who you are intimately and allow yourself to call your power back into you so you could step and serve in a big way. So you could create more impact and more of the things you desire. And that's how, as a Champagne Empress, you get to embody the life you truly desire. That's how you get to be all of the things you have been dreaming of without really compromising who you are for that to happen. And then realize when you're like 70, you're like, I've lived a life centered around my husband. I don't know what I live my life for. We don't want to have that. So start centering your life around yourself so you could find the love you desire. And you can say, gosh, what a fulfilled life I've lived. Got a husband that's seen me, that loves me for me. I've done all the things I wanted to do. What a life, what a beauty. So, thank you so much for joining me today. You know, if this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So, leave a comment on Spotify, on iTunes. Make sure you comment, rate the podcast, connect with me on Instagram, and let's continue the conversation, because those are conversations I love to have, you know? And if you want to go deeper into how to decenter men into your life, book a one-on-one session with me. Join my Facebook group. All the links are in the bio and at the end of each episode, and also in the About Me section, so you could find the links of all the things. But until next time, Empress, I want you to stay empowered, stay true to yourself, and remember, you are the center of your own universe. Ciao.